Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin, Alan Ruff, Alison McConnell and Tam McManus here with me on this Monday. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, and if you get a chance, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We'd love you to join the football family. As ever, it's uncensored, unbiased, unmatched, and it's absolutely free to watch 6 days a week. We've got the football show on, and also over and above that, lots of unique video content that you can catch on our website and on our YouTube channel. And if you download the app, you'll get all the breaking stories at your fingertips. Simple as that. We had a competition last week. We'll be giving you the winner of the competition, and also over and above that, we'll be starting a new competition shortly. We're going to start with some sad news, which in the last few hours has become known to most of the Scottish footballing public. The sad death of Billy Thompson. Billy was 64 years of age, capped 7 times by his country, and he played with St Mirren for over 280 appearances, moved to Dundee United, played in the actual UEFA Cup final of 1987 for Dundee United in that match against Gothenburg, and he was also runner-up in 2 Scottish Cup finals. And when he eventually hung up his boots, he did have stints at Motherwell. He joined Rangers as well as a backup to Andy Gorham, and he finished his playing career at Dundee. But I think as a coach, it's where a lot of footballers in the modern day look back and remember Billy with great fondness. Coaching at Dens Park, of course, coaching back at Ibrox, and of course a wee stint at Kilmarnock as well. It's a sad day, and Ruffy, somebody that you knew well, 64 is still way too young.
Yeah, it certainly is. You know, I spoke to Claire, his daughter, at the weekend, and said he wasn't in a good place, but I didn't think it would be as sudden as what it has turned out to be. And you're right, he came into Partick Thistle as my understudy. He was 20 years of age, obviously to take over from me. Couldn't get into the team, but he was so good. Everybody saw he was so good as a reserve player. St Mirren paid £50,000 for him. You know, and that was before he had played any first team games, you know, so they obviously saw what was going to happen in the future. He turned out to be a tremendous goalkeeper, and I'm sure anybody at any club he was at, it would be a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, I think a sad day also because from your own point of view, when you're with someone like that, you form a friendship.
Yeah, we do, and Billy came into the Scotland squad as well. You know, he was in the squads right up for the Spain World Cup in '82. Unfortunately, he never got picked in the final 3, but he played in a couple of the qualifying rounds. He was always there or thereabouts. But I'm sure the clubs that you've read out there, Dundee United, St Mirren in particular, the fans there will be very disappointed to hear this news.
Yeah, absolutely. And from everyone on PLZ Soccer and of course the Football Show, our thoughts and prayers and condolences to the Thompson family and all his friends as well, and everybody in the football world, I'm sure, echoing our sentiments. A sad loss to football. Billy Thompson sadly passed away at the age of 64. Football over the weekend, we want to get your thoughts on it. Give us your thoughts on your team's performance, how they played, and what you think of certain individuals or incidents. We always like to get your thoughts on the football issues. Here's the results from the weekend in the Scottish Premiership. And it was Aberdeen 3, Motherwell 1, Hearts 3, Dundee United 1. 3 seemed to be the magic number for Livingston as well. They defeated Kilmarnock 3-1. Rangers edged past Ross County by 2-1. Hibs with a solitary goal in a win over St Mirren and Paisley. And it was St Johnstone 1, Celtic 4. That's how it all panned out. So there's quite a lot to talk about before we eventually get to the table and the predictor and how we're all faring in the league race, Ali. We'll talk about that a little later on. But of course, you know, it's a Saturday-Sunday tit for tat when you watch it all, Ruffy. Yesterday, Celtic knew they were down to 6 points, had to win again, swept past St Johnstone. There wasn't really any worries. Certainly no worries the last time they visited McDermott Park in the league and had to leave it late.
Yeah, I mean, just relentless, aren't they? You know, they just, as soon as the whistle goes to start the game, they just turn onto a mode. They get the ball wide, they fire the ball into the box, and 9 times out of 10 there's somebody there to put it in the back of the net. And that's just, every player is singing off the same hymn sheet. Anybody comes in, they just slot in there and they just do the same as the guy they've taken over from. And relentless is the word. You know, they just. I often wonder what opposition managers are thinking, how they're going to beat them or how they're going to get anywhere near them. Because again, I keep saying it, 75% possession. It's just controlling games right from the very, very start.
Yeah, and if the main team are not scoring, the subs come on and score goals as well, and Turnbull seems to be making a habit of that.
Yep, he's a very, very good player, David Turnbull. He likes a shot from the edge of the box. You know, he scores every time it appears he comes on or assists. So he's pushing to get a first team start, but you know, there's so much competition for places at Celtic. You know, you can't get in, O'Reilly can't get in. You know, he's got 5 or 6 forwards who he just rotates. Aaron Moy we'll probably speak about as well, has been outstanding over the last couple of months. So no, Celtic look like a well-oiled machine, and it's difficult to see them dropping points at the minute. Yeah, the Celtic manager Ange Postecoglou, I think, well pleased with the way they performed on a pitch that looked as if it was cutting up all over the place.
Yeah, doing the hard bits of the game, we worked hard and everything, but the quality of our football was just outstanding. You know, the players kind of have this really strong mindset that, you know, even in conditions like today, we don't veer it too far away from our kind of football, and yeah, credit to the lads.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing that I did notice about it. Not a great surface to play on, Ali.
Yeah, it looked very heavy. It was cutting up very badly. I think difficult to get any kind of fluency on a surface like that. But I thought Celtic managed to deal with it. They answered any questions of them, and I think just now they look like a team who are all hands to the pump. I don't think there looks as though there's any easing off, despite the fact that they've got that 9-point cushion. I think you can see that there's competition for places all over the pitch. I think they look like a hungry team. I think there'll be a quiet confidence about them in terms of maybe going and claiming a domestic treble this season. I think they look very assured, very composed. I think the goals return just now is I think you know, you're talking about an average of just over 3 goals every game. I think they could go and eclipse that number that was set. I think it was 106 under Brendan Rodgers' invincible season. I think they look very capable of eclipsing it. They don't look ready to take their foot off the pedal at any point. Yeah, as far as St Johnstone were concerned, Callum Davis not a happy man with the ref.
That's what you're going to get against Celtic. You're not going to dominate the ball. You're not going to force the issue against them. So, you know, pretty proud of my players, how they went about their business. A couple of goals could be better. Maybe thought the last goal could have been offside, but you know, I was quite eager to book my players and send my players off, so I knew I wasn't going to get that decision. Okay, there's always a manager unhappy with the referee, Ruffy. I don't think it had a material effect on the outcome of the game.
No, I don't think so. You know, the only thing it affected was Tam getting 3 points in a predictor. But let's not dwell on that fourth goal. Yeah. I thought it was offside. I thought the attacker was hindering the goalkeeper's view.
Do you think so?
Yeah, well, I was shouting at the telly if he was listening, because I knew he'd be jumping about the house because the fourth one went in because he had 4-1. But no, I think the decisions the referee made didn't affect the game at all. You know, you can tell he's upset, but he should be upset at other things, some of the goals that they lost.
Well, I think in a positive sense, I thought St Johnstone played well at Fir Park in midweek. I thought they played some nice football on a really good surface, and equally so, I thought they actually played some good football against Celtic, because it wasn't a part of the bus performance. I think they put some really good testing balls into the box, which Celtic were able to deal with. Dre Wright had a good goal, so it's not one of those performances where you're saying this is a negative attitude from a team. Callum Davison's side, I don't think will be in any worry over getting sucked back into that. I think they've got enough about them now.
Yeah, I think they do, but I think it's still very precarious. I think when you look at the bottom, how tight it is, I think they know that they probably still need to try and engineer a bit of consistency, that they have to try and produce performances of that ilk, not of the scoreline. I thought for the first 45 minutes, I thought they coped fairly well. I thought Dre Wright was excellent actually throughout, but aside from the goal, I thought he gave them an out at times when they were under pressure. I think you've got to try and marshal that spirit of the performance and take it going forward. I think it would be very easy for any teams in the bottom 6 to slide further down. I think there's not a lot in it. I think Motherwell's situation is the one that would cause real concern. I think just now, they look as though they're almost sleepwalking into relegation. but I don't think that any of the teams round about them are out the bit just yet.
Yeah. So we're talking about Aaron Moy. We're going to talk about good goals. I mean, Humphrey steals the weekend. We'll get to that goal, but Aaron Moy's was a wee bit of class as well. Here's a boy who doesn't really, he doesn't want to be in the limelight, low key, but he goes about his job effectively. I actually thought, to be honest with you, Tam, I thought he was going to be a bit part player.
Yeah, I did as well. I think that when you look at the St Mirren away game, when Ange made a lot of changes, I thought he was really poor that day, and I think a lot of Celtic fans would have just written him off after that game, thinking he's not good enough. He's getting a run of games now. He's keeping O'Reilly out of the team, who is very, very good. So, no, he's playing very well. He's adding goals to his game. He seems a popular character amongst the guys in the dressing room and the fans. Just goes about his business. He's pretty quiet. He's never in the media. So, no, I think he's obviously a very talented player, but Ange is getting the best out of him. He knows him inside out, and I think that's why he obviously signed him. So to get him, pick him up for, I think it was a free he got him in, is great business from Ange.
Yeah, we're going to hear from Michael Beale. We'll also hear from Malky Mackay, and we'll hear from a number of other managers and players on the programme if you want to stick with us. I nearly actually forgot about quiz and competition. Here's a quiz question. I think probably Tam McManus should be in the box seat to provide us with the answer. Which year did Lewis Stevenson make his debut for Hibernian? I'll give you the answer to that at the end of the programme. As far as the competition is concerned, it's such an easy competition this week. It's so easy. You've got an either or. We managed to get a hold of these books to be given away as prizes in the competition, and we thought, let's step up to the plate and see if you want to choose which one you want to win.
This is your chance to win one of these fantastic books that looks back at the classic shirts throughout both clubs' history. You can read about your favourite shirt and your favourite season as a Celtic or Rangers supporter. To be in with a chance of winning, all you have to do is tell us which book you would like to win in the comment section below. And to double your chances of winning, hit the subscribe button and join us on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Good luck.
Yep, it's Kerry's classic catchphrase now. Good luck in the competition. I like that kind of competition, Ali. You don't need any intelligence whatsoever. You just need a preference.
Kind of my level of competition, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think both. They're really interesting prizes, though, for anyone who throws their name into the ring. I think quite interesting tomes to have a flick through. Good coffee book tables.
Yeah, they are, absolutely. I have to say, Ruffy, I had a look through both of them. There are great pictures of, there's times when you look at a strip you think automatically of a player, and then there's obviously a season to remember. So Rangers and Celtic fans will look and go, that's maybe mine because of a generational thing, and sometimes it's a favourite because of a player they remember.
Yeah, I think it's a generation thing. You even see fans at games with these strips on because they mean something to them. If I was to say Rangers and Celtic, my memorable Rangers one would have been the McCune's Lager one.
Yep.
Thinking Ali McCoist.
Yeah. Is this the one with the stripes or just
Leeds away?
one?
Yeah, something like that. And the other one the Celtic one would be the C.R. Smith one. I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
Because I was there that year.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you might. I thought there might. I knew there was going to have to be a reason for it.
The only window of opportunity there, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing. Hey! Come on, you happy with that one? Eh? That's gag number 754 in the compilation. I have to say to you, the strips are great because as well as the good strips in there are the rank rotten ones.
There's a brown Celtic away strip with Peoples on the front of it, which was
the lime,
one of the
it was
lime and brown, and
the lightning bolt.
It's horrendous.
It's terrible. It's the worst one
terrible.
ever.
I had a wee look through the Rangers one, and there's a couple of dodgy ones in there, but he's right. Ruffy's right. Adidas one, the McCune's Lager Rangers, and the Umbro C.R. Smith. They're the crackers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. There's been a few stinkers down through the years. The away strips. That you can think of that they put together.
A lilac one, didn't they?
Yeah, that was it. The lilac one was rank rotten as well. Yeah, it's one of those ones that are instantly forgettable. I mean, I have to be honest with you, I'm not sure the AC/DC one's going to gather any great pace, but I know a few Rangers pals of mine who are giving it. That shirt is minging. But listen, sometimes you buy it because you buy some of them because they then turn into cult shirts, and it's very rare you get a chance to, AC/DC and Rangers, it would become a novelty, wouldn't it? The People's one is a cult one because people can't believe it's so bad.
That's right.
And I mean, I walked past somebody going to one of the games, and I was heading to the press box, and I saw the guy. He was quite a young guy, and he had the People's one on.
That strip.
Yeah, and I looked at him and I went, "Really?" And
there was also a Celtic one with white, and it had like big diagonal yellow and like triangular green. That was a stinker, no?
Yeah. The other thing about it is, I think sometimes shirts become iconic if you have a player, that's associated with it. Because Jim Baxter in the first stint around, a lot of Rangers fans of a certain generation would look at that and think, that's a classic rub. It's a great read. I mean, for the two sets of strips, it's a good read.
Yeah, I had a browse through both of them there.
Look at the pictures.
Well, most of them are pictures. Pictures of strips.
Absolutely. No plot in it whatsoever. Anyway, good luck with the competition. Just all you have to do is quite simply write down in the comments below on Facebook as well, and you can do it on Twitter, and you can also do it on our YouTube channel. Just say Celtic or Rangers, and if you're lucky enough to get picked out, if you want to double your chance, then all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much to the thousands and thousands of people that are doing that and sending us lovely messages, enjoying the content on not only the football show, but of course all the other unique content that we've got on our channel. And you can also tune in on a Saturday now, 4 o'clock till 6, where, Tom, I have to say, we kind of are really just relaxed into it now. It's just a case of battering each other, a wee bit of patter here and there. And by the way, here's a goal.
Yeah, it was great. Obviously the reporters out of the games help as well. I think that gives us something to talk about. It breaks it up as well. 2 hours can be quite long, but I think it's been great so far, and the viewers seem to be enjoying the Saturday show as well, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you to everyone who's supporting us on that. Good luck with the competition. We'll play it before we get to the end again. From St Johnstone 1, Celtic 4 to Rangers 2, Ross County 1. Well, it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. If you're not really firing in all cylinders, as long as you get the win. And Rangers fans are looking at this unbeaten run since Michael Beale arrived and thinking, okay, he's still got to build his own side as long as they're winning.
Yeah, that was the main thing when a new manager comes in there. The supporters want a run, they want a winning run. They want to see their team playing well. That's not going to happen all the times. I think they were a bit fortunate at the weekend there. I thought Ross County did particularly well when it was one each. Yeah, Rangers had all the possession. Rangers were looking to score the winning goal, but it didn't look as if it was going to come to the free kick. And
it was about 77% of possession in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they were on the front foot. There's no doubt about it that Rangers were the better side, but you have to give Ross County some kind of credit. And the free kick itself, I mean, he tried to curl it into the top left-hand corner, and it hits the boy's face and goes into the right-hand side. So you take it when it's there, but... no, I think nobody's going to dwell on it. It's 3 points, and they'll move on to the next game.
Yeah, it's not going to be released on DVD, but Michael Beale offered his thoughts on not only the overall game, but his own tactics on this one.
I have to assess my own part to play in the game today as well, because I'm trying to keep 1 or 2 players happy or engaged, and obviously making 5 subs, you don't always have to do that. I'm showing a lot of faith in people, and maybe that disjointed the performance a little bit as well. I thought it was the 3rd game in another week where we've got 3 wins. That's the most important thing. I'm still searching for a performance. The team are here at Ibrox where we take our chances.
He's not making any excuses on this, Tom. He's just basically saying, listen, it's a work in progress. It's early days, and I think more often than not, he can be critical at times, and his observation of it all is, there's things that need fixed.
Yeah, I think probably at home more than anything. I think away from home at Tynecastle during the week, Rangers were outstanding, but you can't play like that every week. Sometimes you've just got to ground out, a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win, and just win and get on to the next game, as Ruffy says. Don't dwell on it, win and keep yourself in the hunt. I don't think it was a great performance from Rangers, but listen, they get 3 points, they keep the run going, they keep a little bit of pressure on Celtic, and they move on to the next game. But I think he'll be disappointed with the overall performance. He's still looking for that complete performance at home, as you spoke about there. Away from home against Hearts, I thought it was a complete performance. It could have been 6 or 7. But at home, he's still searching for it. But I think it will come.
Yeah,
it'll come.
I think there's certainly been positives from Ross County in the way they played, according to Malcolm Mackay.
I was delighted with the way that we played tactically. I knew that coming here, Michael's got his team playing well, and I knew that they're desperate to try and overload that midfield area. And I thought in the first half we really had a good shape to make sure that didn't happen. And we broke on them, and I thought we'd managed to get chances, which I thought we got 2 or 3 in the first half.
Yeah, they're another club. I hope I'm not tempting fate here about St Johnstone and Ross County, but the way they're playing, sometimes you always try and tell people, don't let your eyes deceive you. Watch your team, see how they play, see if there's signs that they can get away from the madness of the bottom end of the table. And with St Johnstone and Ross County, I see that, and I think Ross County, because of the signings they made, will at least have people who can try and score goals to get them away.
I think there's been encouraging signs. I think he started his game. I think they would never have had any expectation of taking something from Ibrox. I think the reality is they know that they're going to be up against it, but I think they'll probably be encouraged by the level of performance. I thought they made Rangers work for the points. They're not coming away in the back of a hiding and getting back up the road thinking, you're back to the drawing board and starting again. I think they'll feel as though there have been signs and elements that give them a bit of positivity going into the next few weeks. I think that's not going to determine Ross County's season, what they do at Ibrox. It's what they do against the teams round about them, and I think they'll feel quietly confident that they can move away. As I said, I think the team that I would really look at just now is Motherwell. I think if you're going to see a team in free fall, the Fir Park side look as though they are desperately struggling.
Yep, we'll come to them in a minute. Ruffy, just on that, Ali mentioned there he thinks it's going to take some performance to stop Celtic winning the treble. Have Rangers, is it a case of just keep building towards that February Cup final and then hope that you get to the end and you can win another cup? Because I think the general consensus, without in any way trying to annoy people, is that if you're looking at the league, you're thinking Celtic don't look as if they're going to drop points, so where will Rangers' success come if they're to get any?
Yeah, I think the unfortunate thing for Rangers are there's none of the other teams capable of taking points off Celtic. On any given day there you might get a draw or something like that, but none of them look capable enough to take points off them, and that's a problem for Rangers, because Rangers will believe that they will take points off Celtic in the 2 games they've got to play them. That's what they'll be hanging on to. I would think Rangers' objective would be the cup, to win the cup. If they win the cup, that would give not only the players but the supporters a massive boost for the running. That's also something else to hang on to, but they've got to come up with the goods that day and get that, because if Celtic go and win the cup, then it's just one-way street to the end of the season.
Yeah. Bob White's got a question here, Ruffy. I thought I'd put it to you because you seem to be the most experienced. Is it fair to put this one to him?
Yes, go, yeah.
Have you read Bob White?
No, I've not read it, no.
Okay, Bob White says, what excuse will Celtic use after losing the League Cup final on the 26th of February? A, referee; B, VAR; C, the pitch; D, the BBC; E, the SNP; or F, the referee.
Pick any 3 for 7
so
there.
Bob's, I think Bob's just in that mode where he's
What team does Bob?
Well, that just shows you the confidence there is at Rangers just now, and the Rangers supporters, and quite rightly so, because the performances they're putting in are good and they're winning games. So if you're a supporter, you've got to believe anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't notice it, but it's well noticed by Hoggy Boy. He says, are A and F not the same? The referee, and he's mentioned the referee again. There's 2 options to use the referee. Well done, Bob. We like a bit of humour in this because, after all, listen, it's only a game, and lots of people will have their own take on it once we get ever closer to that League Cup final. But nevertheless, Rangers managed to win 2-1, and then Celtic restored that 9-point advantage. Give us your thoughts on individual players. Nice to see Nicholas Raskin go on, because quite simply, Ali, just making your debut, looking at the stadium, getting excited about being a new player. There's so many have done it, and I think the Rangers, early indication, I think the Rangers fans liked the fact that he wanted to play the ball quickly.
Yeah, I think he's saying all the right things after the game and stuff, either on his social media account. But yeah, I thought you looked. I think he'll be a decent addition. I think it'll be an interesting one for Rangers to see just how these guys show up between now and the end of the season, see what they can offer. But I think it's important just to get a taste of it, to start bedding players in and being able just to maybe just inject a wee bit of creativity in there.
Okay, what about the third force, Hearts? They defeated Dundee United by 3-1, but I have to say the goal was absolutely top drawer. Now, I might be courting a little bit of controversy here because Tam and I put it to Adam Binney, our reporter, after the game. He was absolutely unbelievable. I thought, I said, calm yourself down. It was unbelievable. No, well, he's actually waxing lyrical about Stephen Humphrey's goal, and rightly so. And I did ask him if it was better than Kemar Roof's in the Europa League, and he said, "Oh, it's just brilliant. It's better than that, yes." And then I had a look at the two of them, and it's not better than Roof's is the better goal, but Humphrey's is a great goal.
That's a wonderful goal, to have the ability to pick the ball just outside your own 18-yard line. He went by a couple of players, but for me, the good bit about it was he had the noise to look up and see where the goalkeeper was, and then to have the ability to think that he could, because he was good 60 yards out. It's a fair old clip, a ball, to have that kind of direction and get it over the keeper. But no, I can't take anything away from it. It was a wonderful strike. I think it was Beckham that started it, wasn't it? Scoring for the halfway line, and then Charlie Adam did it, and then some others do it. But his was a wee bit different, He actually had to travel with the ball maybe 20, 30 yards before he actually looked up to hit it.
Yeah. I think Beckham certainly gained notoriety. I'm sure there are other people down through the years that have scored from the halfway line, Ali. I can remember Pelé hitting one as a volley back and almost scored in a World Cup final. But you've got to take your hat off to him. I mean, the whole place went bananas when he scored, and you loved, although Dundee United at Hearts won 3-1, just everybody goes home and goes to bars and talks about Humphreys.
Yeah, I think it's just it's a very difficult thing to do. You see it happen, you see people attempt it often, you don't always see it come off. So I think when you do see a goal like that, I think people go away and you're raving about it, because it still remains fairly unusual to see it come off successfully in a competitive game.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to so many of you who are mentioning the goal. Hugh Scott says, Peter, the only difference with Roof's goal was that it was on a rain-sodden pitch. It was some strike from Humphreys, though. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I prefer the Roof goal is because I thought he beat a couple of players, and again, like Humphreys, he looked up, but it was beats a couple of players in a European competition and launches it, and he hit it with some ferocity.
Yeah, I don't think there's much in it between the two. I think both of them are outstanding goals. As you said, it's different from the ball just lands at you and you see the goalkeeper and just hit it. I've seen Chick Charnley scoring one for Hibs, and I've seen Pat McGinley scoring one the week after, both for Hibs. So I think if you pick the ball up that deep, he picks the ball up in his own 18-yard box and drives up the pitch, beats 2 or 3 players, then hits it.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Was it better than Roof for you?
Yeah, I thought it was. I think he starts deeper. He picks the ball up in his own 18-yard box. He drives 20, 30 yards by a couple of players and then hits it. I think Roof's was maybe just on the far side. But as I said, it's very difficult to separate both of them. I wouldn't compare them, but I thought both were outstanding bits of skill.
Of the ones that you've seen and you can remember down through the years, is Charlie Adams better? Is David Beckham's better? What one's the best for you of the ones from the halfway line? I mean, Xabi Alonso scored from the halfway line as well. Remember that one too for Liverpool
against Newcastle.
Yeah, is there
goalie just tripped over his own feet but it went in?
That's goalies.
And who was it? Who was it who scored against Seaman?
Ronaldinho and Naeem from the halfway line was a European Cup Winners' Cup tie, which was a cracking one. Remember, there are some gags that won't get in the compilation, and that last one won't. But nevertheless, Ali, I'm never honestly. Eventually, what I'm going to do is, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie where the two guys are in the car and the driver is getting sick of the passenger, and he just goes like that and knocks him out, and then drives on. That's what I'm going to do with him one day. I'm just going to, while I'm looking at the camera, I'm just going to right hook him flat out, and then we continue the show with him sparkled in the corner. Anyway, you can pick your own favourite, whatever floats your boat. They were all great goals. So, as far as you'd think, we'd focus on Robbie Nielsen talking about the goal, but no. Robbie, week in, week out, likes to moan about the ref.
Dundee United, I do it to him, but the time wasting. The goalie's kicked the ball on the pitch 2 or 3 times. The referee warns the other guys. We time waste once and he gets a yellow card. Desperate to do it, desperate. And the second one, yes, you can't clap him, but the first one for me is just to go on. Nick's an experienced referee, but he's handled that situation, in my opinion, very, very, very poorly. So, but we pay the price. We'll get a man suspended now. If I go through the right processes, I might get an answer from him. Maybe see him when he sneaks out here.
Robbie Nielsen he's just brilliant, and I don't think he'll be going to the referees convention at the start of next season, Ruffy, do you?
No, I don't. I get the bit if the first booking was for time wasting, when they're well on top, there's no reason to be time wasting. I get the second one as a yellow card, so the referee would have to explain the first one to us.
Yeah, Josh Ginnelly should have known, don't clap the ref, for God's sake.
I think it's stupidity.
Yeah.
I do think that's, and I think his irritation there is as much directed at his own player for that than he is at the referee. I think he'll know himself, it's just, it's never ending well.
Yeah.
Clapping the referee and, you're already on a booking.
You ever done that, Tom?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Speaking of stupidity.
Do you know what's great about having you and Ruffy on? Mr. Nice Guy, and you always a wee devil.
I've actually been done a couple of times.
Yeah?
Yep. Willie Young done me for a booking. When I went down in the box, and the guy chopped me. Lee Wilkie chopped me in the box for a penalty, and Willie waved play on. And I just went up to him after it and went, "Oh, great decision, Willie." Booked. Fined.
Ever been sent off for it? No.
No. I got sent off for pushing Mike McCurry. You know that one?
Yeah. Did you?
Against Rangers, aye.
What, in a kind of a Decanio style?
I vaguely remember that. I think I might have been working in it.
Did you not call for him to be sacked? It was just an absolute disaster, I think, to do for a player.
It was Alec McLeish's first game back at Easter Road as Rangers manager. We get beat 3-0. And Ulrich Lawson gets sent off for handballing it on the line. And then I put my hand on Mike McCurry and he just gave me a straight red.
Well,
called him something.
Can't do it. You might, if you're going
to
be fair, if you're going, you might as well go and still.
The whole shebang.
Yeah.
So get your money's worth.
Well, who's going down? I mean, Ali's already suggested that Motherwell look a team just heading south, but what about Dundee United? Liam Fox still putting on a brave face despite the defeat.
Of course it does. Of course, these decisions always do change the game. So I'm obviously frustrated, you can probably sense that in me. But again, I repeat, I'm proud of my players today, and we just need to stick together, we just need to keep believing. I know the supporters will find that difficult to take and to hear after getting beat 3-1 and losing the other night, but I think if anybody was at the game today, then if we continue to play like that and perform like that and keep at those levels, we'll be fine.
Okay, he thinks they'll be fine. Do you, Ali?
I think they might be thereabouts. I think they've struggled to get out of it. You've seen glimpses where they've had fairly big wins, but then they've struggled to piece together successive results in a consistent run of form. I think you would fear for them on current evidence of where they are. I think given the budget that they've got, they should be nowhere near there. They're really underperforming and have done for the entirety of the campaign. I do think that the Motherwell look, the team just now that are struggling for confidence, for ideas, for results, but there's a few that I think just are not out the bit yet, and Dundee United would be one of them.
Yeah, based on their budget alone, they are well underperforming.
Yeah, they certainly are. But I thought the sending off was a turning point in the game. I thought they were doing all right until the sending off. Ryan
Edwards, they're appealing that card. Did you think it was a red?
I don't think he went in to hurt the player. I don't think he was late. I thought he was really firm in his challenge.
Yeah.
And
There you go. Here you go. You're on a mate.
No, I wouldn't.
You know what's coming next? Do you know what you remind me of, by the way? You remind me of the wee guy that used to play for the school team who put his head down and he just used to run and he never looked up and he didn't know, and then eventually, you know.
Right, so all of that, was it
all
red
of
card?
No, red card for me.
No?
He just touches the bottom of his foot with force.
I thought it was a red card, did you?
Just touches the bottom.
No, but he's wanting to win the ball. He's wanting to win the ball. He's not wanting to hurt the
Follow
player.
through, Ruffy.
Yes.
That's his follow through. He's high. He catches
Wasn't
the
he
Halliday.
high?
He
He's-
catches
he's
the
second
reckless.
leg.
I think there's excessive force.
But the foot.
I think it ticks a lot of
the foot
boxes for a red.
The foot that he tackled with was on the ground. It was just to follow through.
Oh, but he's high in the follow through.
He's not meaning to be high.
I know, but I think he's left a bit on him.
I didn't mean to fire the trigger that shot the bullet in your right shoulder, Ruffy, but you know, I was aiming for
They're not going to win that appeal, by the way. It's a waste of grand.
I forgot.
It's a waste of grand.
I forgot. I was going to say, did McCrory win his?
No,
he didn't.
Well, there we go.
Those two are having a go. Why didn't you text us? I mean, honestly, you two should have texted.
Yeah.
You know, I thought to myself, McCrory, I mean, honestly, if they're handing out red cards for that when the game's a bogey time.
I didn't think it was a red
I
at
did think that
all.
one was a red.
You did?
I know. Yeah, you and Ruffy
I
together.
just thought the way he arched his... I knew that I knew that one wouldn't be successful.
Oh, the Ruffy and Ali show, that'll be great, eh? Absolutely fantastic. You can do your own. You can do your own predictor as well. No, listen. You know, you did get it right eventually, but
so he's appealing it.
He's appealing it, but I don't think he'll get anywhere with it. Hey, it's all open to debate. What about Aberdeen, Motherwell? Ali, you've mentioned Motherwell. I watched them in midweek. They were rank rotten. I don't know if he can get a trick out of them at all. I see a lot of things that. I see a lot of things that are putting Stephen under pressure. You know, I think Gregor, who is an Aberdeen fan, doesn't reckon I'll criticise Stephen Hamill. Stephen Hamill knows it's a results-driven business. The team are not playing well, and that's another defeat.
Yeah, I think he's in a very precarious position. I think he will know more than anyone that he's judged on where his team are, how they're performing, on the lack of points that are coming in. They've brought in a couple of players over the window. He's maybe hanging his hat and hoping that they can give them a lift and give them a boost, but they look like a team who lack conviction, who lack belief, who lack direction. They look almost as though they're just sleepwalking to relegation just now.
I tell you who would be a good signing for them, Callum Butcher. I think they are massively needing a bit of strength and a bit of dig in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
I know he didn't play at the weekend up at Aberdeen. I think if he's fit and he goes straight into the team for me, I think Motherwell are missing dig, they're missing grit in the middle of the park, and he's got to give them that. If he gives them that bit of dig, they've got a lot of decent footballers, Motherwell in my opinion, but they've not got enough dig and enough power, enough strength. And if he can come in, he could be a big signing for them, Callum Butcher. He likes to leave his foot in. He's obviously overstepped the mark a few times up here, but I think you need somebody like that to set a tone to go and say, right here, we're here today not to get bullied.
Well, I think their back line is pretty roughy.
The goals, you just have to look at the goals, they're poor.
Yep.
One of the goals with Aberdeen, the boy played a ball through to the Aberdeen centre forward. The guy just stuck his foot out. It was just a training thing. I'll just stick my foot out here and try and stop it getting to him. And it was just feeble, and that's the goals they're losing. Unfortunately, the guy who has been saving them 9 times out of 10 is the goalkeeper, and unfortunately for him just now, it's just not working. But that's not his fault, it's the people in front of him that are really poor. And I wouldn't like to be in the Motherwell scenario just now. I mean, I've been in teams that are bottom of the league. It's a horrible place to go. Everybody turns up on a Monday, their faces are all hiding and training's flat, and unless you've got individuals in the dressing room to lift the spirit, and I don't know inside the Motherwell dressing room, but unless you've got people like that, it's going to be a long, long week for the start to the next game comes, because you're getting into the next game and again you're not knowing what's going to happen, and if you lose a goal early on, it's just dreadful. There's no way out of it.
Yeah, Ewan Montgomery says, Peter, should Hamill be sacked? A simple yes or no. For me, no.
Can you tell me the next 3 games?
Raith Rovers and the
forget the cup. Well, the cup will be a wee boost if they win it.
Well, what if they get knocked out?
Well, if they knocked out, I don't think there's any recovery for that.
What, you think that's...
Yeah,
is that the point of sacking?
Yeah, I think it would be, yeah.
Yeah?
Is it at Motherwell?
The cup?
At Raith.
Yeah, well, in light of all the other games, you know, it's obviously going to put added pressure on. But if you tell me the league games,
St Mirren, Hearts, Kilmarnock and Ross County. They're games where they need
the
to
games
take
you've got to
something.
look at and say, yeah, we've got to take 3 out of 4 of them, or 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way they've got to look at it, and if they don't get that, then they are in deep trouble.
Yeah, but the problem is, Ali, there is a cut-off point where you say to yourself, when is it not savable?
I think that's a question that the board have got to ask. I think you get to a point where you think, if you don't make the change, if you don't make the call, are you looking at relegation and everything that entails? I think, I do think it's becoming increasingly precarious.
I don't think yet, but I think he needs to pick up something. He needs to beat Wraith in the cup.
Yep.
I think if they go out the cup, I think he's going to be under serious pressure. I think the fans are turning on him now. Unfortunately, I think when that happens, you know, the pressure starts to, you know, apply to the board. And Stephen's a Motherwell legend. You know, he played over 400 games for the club. I think he's got a wee bit of leeway from the supporters because he was such a a great player for the club. But I think now when you see some of the performances, they've got to go to Wraith and get through in the Scottish Cup, and then they've got St Mirren at home. They've got to win that. If they lose both those games, then sadly it might be time's up for Stephen.
Yeah, positive word on Aberdeen. Duke again, Miofsky.
Yeah, listen, I think Aberdeen, Barry Robson's getting a tune out of them. I think they were unlucky. I didn't think it was a sending off, but that obviously cost them against St Mirren. By all accounts, they battered Motherwell at the weekend. Miofsky, lovely goal, wee chip over the goalkeeper. He's a clinical finisher. He's a very good player, I think, in Duke as well. But Aberdeen were in the front foot for most of that game. They're a team, Barry Robson, I think, would want the job. I think if he keeps winning games, he's going to put himself in the shake-up to get that job. I don't think there's any outstanding candidates at the minute for Aberdeen, so he's in the box seat. If he can win three of the next 4 games or put 3-4 wins together, then he maybe get the job.
Yeah, okay. A good 3 points for Aberdeen. 3-1 seemed to be the favourite scoreline. Livingston, Newbley, Anderson, Stephen Kelly scoring against the Kilmarnock side that are well and truly in this battle as well. But Livingston, I thought the way they scored the goals, again, really good football. 2 of them were crackers. Yeah,
and Newbley is a handful for anyone. I think he just offers so much. But even Livingston, you look at that home record, and even factoring in the pitch, their home record is extraordinary. Where they are in the league just now is extraordinary, given the resources that they've got. I think David Martindale has got them playing they've got a very clear identity about how they play as a team. It's successful, it's a philosophy that's working for them. I don't think anyone in the league would relish going to play at Livingston just now. I think they're very difficult to beat, and I think they've got players that can hurt you. I think they're more than just a big physical entity. They've got a bit more about them, and they have attacking players who can cause damage. Yeah, and if we're looking at Motherwell's predicament, Kelly's predicament is if you've done United in the Cup, then it's Hibs, Motherwell, Rangers, St Johnstone and Hearts.
Yeah, that's quite a tough run actually. I wouldn't fear for Kilmarnock too much because their home form's been tremendous this season, and I think that'll possibly keep them away from trouble. Away form, they've got to improve. I think they've picked up 1 or 2 points away from home all season. That's dreadful. That game against Motherwell will be huge. Yeah. Because they were fortunate to come back. I think that not that long ago Motherwell was nothing up against 10 men, and Kilmarnock come back and get a draw 2 each. So that's going to be a massive game. But I don't know. I think Kilmarnock will be okay. I just think their home form on that AstroTurf, I think they'll pick up enough points to stay away from the bottom 2. Yeah, you happy with the high Bs? Ewan starting to look as if he's on a really good run, confidence high. Yep, listen, there's always been a player there. I was critical of him earlier because he wasn't scoring enough goals. I think he had 1 goal in his first 22-23 appearances, which for a forward wasn't good enough. But you can see he's got ability. You've seen it particularly against Celtic. Celtic ran out 4-0 winners that night, but he caused Celtic a lot of problems in the first half. He's a talented player, but he's got to add goals to his game, and he's doing that now. I think when Nisbet been out injured, he's getting a wee run through the middle as well, which that's where he's getting his goals, through the middle of the pitch. He took his goals tremendously well, cut inside, fired it into the bottom corner. So, from 1 goal in his first 22-23, he's got 3 and 3, and if he keeps continuing to bang in goals, then Hibs might struggle to keep a hold of him. I think he's only on loan from St Gallen, so no, I think he has a talented player now now he's adding goals to his game. He looks far better.
Yeah, and of course Lee Johnson now looking at a result without Ryan Porteous, and I think when somebody leaves, the manager just concentrates on who remains.
We've lost Ryan Porteous. He's now gone 3 games, only conceded 1 goal. He must be particularly...
Ryan who? No, I'm joking.
He must be.
I'm joking. He scored today, I heard, and that's good for him. No, please, of course I am. You know, Will Fish is an outstanding young player, and I'm delighted to have been able to bring in CJ. Obviously, we've got Paul Hanlon there as well that organises talks, and you know, putting Jimmy in there as well as another talker and another bit of experience, I think has just solidified us. And that was what we needed.
Yeah, what do you make of their players that he's brought in?
Yeah, we were just saying there, I thought the right back, CJ, I thought he was excellent. I thought he was probably man of the match. I thought they needed some players. I thought you needed to bring in and basically reinforce a couple of positions. He also said on Saturday that Nesbitt's hamstring is probably the mildest tear that it could be, that he's hopefully maybe getting him back within the next fortnight or so, which I think would be good news for everyone. Although again, like Tam, I thought Ellie Ewan looked far more comfortable playing through the middle than he did playing out wide.
Yeah, of course, getting a win at St Mirren's Park is no mean feat this season, and Stephen Robinson, was quick to point out that Hibs will be well happy coming away from Paisley with 3 points.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're always going to end sometime. You can't do that all season, but. Yeah, there was not a lot in the game. I think Leigh will be absolutely delighted to get out with 3 points. I would imagine he would have taken a point, probably like myself. I don't think they caused us any problems at all. I don't think we caused them too many problems either, if the truth be told. It was one of those games of conditions, they dictated the quality and level of play. It was almost impossible for the players to pass the ball and swirl and win.
Well, I think they're in the right half of the table, St Mirren. I think Stephen Robinson certainly is a manager that's pleasing his supporters and where they find themselves and their form, especially at home.
Yep, I think he's done a tremendous job. I think the start of the season didn't start it too well. I think they exited the League Cup fairly early as well, and there was a little bit of pressure on him. So they've come back strong. He's signed well. He was recruited well. He's got some good players in there. He's managed to get a few out that I think he wanted to get out. So I don't think St Mirren have been any problem. I think when you look at the top 6, I think you've got the Old Firm, you've got Hearts. I think Hibs now will probably finish in there, and then there's there's a couple of spaces here: Livingston, St Mirren, possibly St Johnstone.
Yeah.
So
Hibs fans are warming to Lee Johnson now.
Yeah, I think the results are key. I think.
Yeah. Look at the table. When you see it now, it's healthier reading for.
It's picked up 7 points, Peter, in the last 3 games.
Yeah,
and but for arguably a poor refereeing decision, it would have been 9. So, listen, if they can finish in the top 4 or 5 this season, it's a real transitional season, I think, for Hibs. He's managed to get a lot of players out who weren't good enough. The guys he's brought in look decent. The right back from Man City, Riley and Fish, they look as if they're going to be decent players. So, no, I think as long as he can keep in and about that top 3, 4, 5, then I think he'll be okay.
And Ruffy, Killie, Ross County, Motherwell, Dundee United, that's where it's all tight.
Well, that's where the worry is for the 4 teams, because there's somebody adrift. There's somebody maybe 7, 8 points, and then the other 3 have just got to make sure you're no second in the playoff. But now they're all together, and we already spoke about Motherwell. They're on a credible run, but they're not adrift. They're still there.
Well, that's the thing about it, isn't it?
They've still got games that they're going to come up against these teams, and it will be in the split. When the split comes, if it remains as tight as that, it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's the bottom end, which is exciting. The top end just looks as if it's going to be a procession all the way to the end, or do you see those 2 Old Firm games being so crucial to transforming the league? Because that's really, to be honest with you, Ruffy, what a lot of Rangers fans will be hanging their hat on, is taking maximum points at Celtic Park, maximum points at Ibrox, and then hoping someone from somewhere can do them a turn.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible with the Old Firm. There's no doubt about that. But the way Celtic have been relentless, and just going about their game and just winning games quite easy. I can't remember when they've ever been backs to the wall. The only time they've been backs to the wall is when we're playing European football. In our league, it's just everybody going forward. They're never under pressure. They might lose a goal, but they know they're going to get another 2 or 3 at some time, whether it's in the first half or it's in the second half. It usually just comes. But if you're a Rangers supporter, a Rangers player, you've got to believe that you can do it, and you're relying on somebody else.
Yeah, okay. What about the Predictor? Because obviously there's a big trophy at the end of this one, Tam, and I think from your point of view, you're actually starting to think, well, you might win that trophy. Ruffy's on 217, I'm on 216. You closed the gap, you're on 210, and then, you know, it's just a kind of a non-runners now who are just hoping to avoid the bottom.
3 jobber outfits at the bottom.
I'll tell you, Alison McConnell, remember Alison, the one-hit wonder? She's on 183, Tam Cowan on 178, and then Hugh Ali on 163, which is 20 points. If he suddenly had a wee 21 pointer one day, then all things could change.
You need to get 5 correct scores then, because he's not going to get one. He's not going to get one.
I mean, it could suddenly all switch for you. Your bottle would crash, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Because
7 points behind Ruffy. Oh, what momentum I've got, by the way.
Yeah.
Momentum.
Yeah, we got a wee break at the weekend with that 4th goal.
Yeah, absolutely. But these things are they can
it's a 3-horse race now.
It really is, isn't it? It's a 3-horse race between us 3. But the other aspect of it, Ruffy, as you well know, is if we were Peter, is Alison starting to worry that Hugh is closing the gap on her? Complacency has set in this season, clearly. Hugh, you're 100% correct. That is exactly what's happened.
Small margin.
Your son needs to give you a right talking to him to say hi, get your finger in it.
Yeah, the other thing about it as well, the last thing you want to see from somebody who's won a title is arrogance, Ruffy. And that's what's been displayed.
It's going back to Hunter. So arrogant at the start of the season as well.
Well, that's the thing. Well, we had that meeting at the beginning of the season, said, right, come on, let's get her.
That's exactly what happened. Although there'll be that uneasy. If you are caught, Ali, there'll be that uneasy feeling, Tam, when we're all sitting around the table with our husband and our family, and but we're just going to eat.
That's right.
We're going to have the wine, and we'll just say to our husband, come on, just keep bringing the beers out. It's all good. And by the way, any chance of getting that room finished in your new house? Is that fair, Ruffy?
Yeah. And Mum, why are we getting porridge every morning?
You ran out of money, absolutely. Here's a shock. Because in the English Premier League at the weekend, we were looking and thinking, Everton have defeated Arsenal. Suddenly this title race could take a twist. That twist hasn't quite materialised because Man City lost to Tottenham, Tom.
Yeah, they did. I watched the game yesterday, and deservedly so. I thought that Tottenham were excellent. Harry Kane, fantastic achievement to break Jimmy Greaves' record. He is a world-class striker, and he might just get them into the top 4. I don't think Tottenham are a better team than Newcastle, but they've got Harry Kane, and Harry Kane is different class. I thought Man City huffed and puffed. Haaland was poor. De Bruyne on the bench, come on, face was tripping him. Don't think all's well, between him and Pep at the minute. So, listen, great result for Arsenal, particularly getting beat off of Everton. They would have expected Man City to go there and win, but Arsenal look as if they're going to win the league this season. But I really fancied Man City for the Champions League this year. I thought this was their year, but I don't know now.
Yeah, something not right. I really fancied Liverpool to do something. Maybe just get a win. That hasn't materialised, and I think Jurgen Klopp is now getting to that point that
he's starting to slag.
I tell you,
that's a bad
have a wee listen, because he's starting to lose the plot with people.
How can I not be concerned? I can't sit here and think, oh no, that's all okay, we did well, but it's football. It's not. And I got now asked a question outside if it's because of last season, 63 games, blah blah blah, stuff like this. Yes, definitely. We have to say. Meanwhile, it's clear that has had influenced the first part of the season. But how long do we want to suffer of that? So how long? So it's now the second part of the season. If on my watch is February.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit tetchy. I am not of the opinion that he's anywhere near getting sacked. Tam thinks the opposite. And of course we've got a great wee bet on about if Liverpool were to win the Champions League, which, okay, it's a long shot, but nevertheless, I'm looking at the team, Ruffy, a team that was on the edge of a quadruple, is now struggling badly.
No, I know, and a lot of big players in there, and I don't know if there's a lot of egos going about, you know, that sometimes that happens with big players, you know, that they start looking about the dressing room going, it's not my fault, it's they two are there.
I'll tell you whose fault it is, the back line.
Yeah.
They're just giving away goals.
Yeah, but sometimes that happens, you know, that you have to look at some of the other teams. Well, we spoke about Tottenham there. Tottenham have improved, and look at Man United.
Yeah. It's a ruthless league though. Jesse Marsh, Leeds United boss, sacked.
That was a surprise actually to me when I heard that earlier this afternoon. I think he was quoted when Ange Postecoglou got the Celtic job. I think Celtic were quite keen on him. Obviously a fairly interesting pedigree in what he had done prior to going there, but I think it's an incredibly ruthless league, and also I think it's it's an unforgiving environment. What you're saying that Jurgen Klopp probably has enough credit in the bank, I'm not sure that it always holds sway in a league like that.
Yeah, well, could I just say something to you? If Liverpool win the Champions League, Tam has agreed to appear on the show in his boxer shorts. So
okay. You're kind of hoping.
Yeah. Do you want me to get
for that, Ali?
Do you want me to get a bucket, Ali? Are you okay? So that's the bet, Ruffy. I mean, I will be cheering them all the way to the final.
No chance.
They got to win it.
Eh?
They got to win it.
If they win the Champions League, he's coming on the show, just sitting there in his boxer shorts. Obviously, I'll make it a Wednesday, so Ali's not on, you know. But now that she's given us that reaction to the thought of Tam in his boxer shorts,
to Ali,
but Ruffy, I think we've just got to sit there and look at him in his boxer shorts. And
well, I wouldn't be looking at his boxer shorts. I'll try and keep my head a wee bit.
So there you are. Quite a lot of people are saying, no, we don't want to see it either. Thanks for that, Hugh. But anyway, that's the bet. Just quickly before we go, we'll give you a little chance to enter the competition, the new competition this week. But what about Man City? They're referred to an independent commission by the Premier League over alleged breaches of its financial rules. This is not one isolated one. This is actually from 2009 to the 2017-18 campaign. Man City have responded to this, saying Manchester City is surprised by the issuing of these alleged breaches of the Premier League rules, particularly given the extensive engagement and vast amount of detailed materials that the EPL has been provided with. The club welcomes the review of the matter by an independent commission to impartially consider the comprehensive body of irrefutable evidence that exists in support of its position. As such, we look forward to the matter being put to rest once and for all. Well, you know, you've got record deal, sponsorship deals right, left and centre. I don't think Man City are the only ones that you look at and you say, how can they go about financial fair play this way? There's a lot of clubs over Europe who are actually just taking the mickey out of this financial fair play.
They are, but it's interesting that the Premier League are going after Man City. It's a big step.
Yep.
And you know, if they go after them, there's a few others that will be worried. I think Chelsea in particular, after the window they've had, but there seems to be ways around it, you know, giving people 8-year contracts, 9-year contracts, and it goes over every year. There seems to be ways around it, but they must have evidence. I know there was a hacker, a Portuguese hacker or something that, you know, hacked into Man City, but I know they must have evidence if they're coming out and going after Man City right now.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wait to see the outcome of that one. I'm sure there'll be other clubs that'll be under the microscope with the financial fair play. As far as football's concerned, we always like to give you the chance to win some great prizes, and today is no exception. Last week we gave away we're giving away Jota canvas, we're giving away Rangers tops with the Europa League final programme, Luka Modric top. It's all there, and this week's is an absolute belter for Celtic and Rangers fans.
This is your chance to win one of these fantastic books that looks back at the classic shirts throughout both clubs' history. You can read about your favourite shirt and your favourite season as a Celtic or Rangers supporter. To be in with a chance of winning, all you have to do is tell us which book you would like to win in the comment section below. And to double your chances of winning, hit the subscribe button and join us on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Good luck.
That's an easy competition, isn't it, Ruffy? You just say what you fancy.
Yeah, that's one or the other.
Yeah.
Can you, if you wanted to win the two of them, can you go for the two of them?
No.
Okay.
Don't be silly. It's one or the other. Who
support both teams, can you?
Who in their right mind wants to win a Rangers and a Celtic book?
They're good books.
Yeah.
Good at history, you can keep them.
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yeah, and when you go into your Rangers supporting family, you say, "You never believe it, I've won the Celtic book as well." You know,
there's no pages in it.
Yeah, and exactly. So unless you're going to sell them up the barras, at the end of the day, 2 good books and a really good read as well. Lots of great pictures of old strips there. It's a trip down memory lane. What about the quiz? You want to take a guess?
2011.
This is the quiz question. Which year did Lewis Stevenson make his debut for Hibs? 2011.
2007.
2007.
2006 in his first game was against Ayr United.
6.
That is no. It's 2005 September.
No.
So
That's not 2006.
No, it's 2005 September. That's when he made his debut. Thank you, Trips. Yes, look at that. Look at y'all. Look, 2005. Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to shoot? Honestly, look, you're having a mare today, by the way.
He had said
he's been there 18 years.
Yeah, it's a
said
long
on Saturday
time.
it was 2006 when he was offered a
I thought it was 2006.
contract.
Yeah,
It was 2006.
but there we have it. That's it. That's the answer.
Googling it now. He's
No,
googling
I'm
it
just
now.
saying to you, mine.
Right, come on.
There you are. There it is.
2006.
What does it say? Having made his debut in September 2005. Thank you very much.
Don't trust that.
And good and
Me
good
neither.
night. Brilliant. Anyway, thank you very much to everyone who took a guess at that. It's just a quiz, just a bit of fun. Good luck with the competition. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. By the way, if you download the app, you get all the breaking stories at your fingertips, and over and above that, you get all our unique video content. You can watch the programme on your phone, live or at your leisure. From Ruffy, from Alison, from Tam and myself, Peter Martin. Thank you for watching.